Bass had said earlier, well, you and I loved it, the movie yesterday. But another movie you might want to watch if you've not seen it is Greater. And we have
the lead actor in this role. Hey, Chris, I want to make sure, since my name is Basil and it gets butchered, it is Severio, correct? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Chris Severio. And,
enough of the yes, sir.
that's right. Hey, man, thanks for jumping on with us. You know, Marty and Brian Reindl, obviously the director, and Marty, the brother of Brandon, they're so excited that the movie now has made it to Netflix. It just raises the bar. And we just wanted to get you on real quick and talk about it and talk about, you know, what kind of responses you've got since the movie has come out and now since it's gotten on Netflix.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience since it hit Netflix. Getting a lot of positive feedback. It's reached a new level since it hit Netflix, and I couldn't ask for anything more than just have this type of recognition for the film.
Yeah, everybody's now radio shows like us, Chris. We're trying to fill time, so we're doing brackets and best of this and best of that. So one of them is sports movies, and so now obviously Greater is part of that discussion. And I know you're very proud of that. Tell me what it was like to even prepare for the role to be Brandon. What are the things you had? We actually have an actor in our studio right now, a very well-trained actor. And so that was one of the things he wanted to ask. What are the things it took for you to become Brandon Burlsworth in the movie Greater?
When I first auditioned for the film, I had no knowledge of who Brandon was. And eventually when I learned his story, I got to know, who this man was. I got a lot of feedback from Brandon's family and from Brian. We had a lot of discussions about, how Brandon should be portrayed. And I had never played football a day in my life.
Wow.
So there was a lot of sit downs for, what I'd be doing. And then we started working with the football team a few weeks before we ever started shooting, just to get me prepared and actually get down on the line and get in the trenches with all the guys. That was a lot of fun. It was definitely something that I'm proud of because it was, I've never played football.
Wow.
And so it was a whole, new experience for me, and being able to do that, just kind of put something else on my resume as far as saying, hey, this is something I've done. And so that was one of the big things that I had to prepare for, was being able to get on the line and actually play with these guys. And I mean, these guys are they're monsters compared to the actual size of me. And I'm like looking, I was like, man, I'm going to get smashed by these gentlemen.
Well, how much did you weigh, Chris? How much did you weigh did you have to gain weight to play the role?
No, I was already a pretty hefty guy when we started filming. And, I was probably around, 320 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Didn't know that.
320.
Yes, sir.
And then how much did you lose?
I'm not totally sure what I lost during filming, but we had to use camera tricks for the film as far as to make me look even bigger. So there was a suit I wore at one point, and wearing that suit plus the full pads, and then doing football drills all day and doing plays while we're filming. I kind of dropped weight dramatically over a past 2 weeks of just doing football. And but I mean mainly that was water weight, and it came back eventually. But
I retain water in the mornings too, man. Well, at least they didn't have to film. They filmed. Normally you don't film all the movie from start to finish. So with your weight and with the tricks you were playing, they were able just to go ahead and film any way that they wanted to. They didn't have to show big Brandon at the beginning and more athletic Brandon at the end, did they?
Absolutely, yeah. They were able to do whatever that they wanted to during our schedule.
Did you get a chance to visit with Clint Sterner and the linemen, the actual guys that were being portrayed in the movie, to get even a greater feel about Brandon?
Yeah, I got to meet a few of the guys that actually played with Brandon. I met with some other guys that actually played for Arkansas that never played with Brandon,
right,
but did play for Arkansas, to actually give me, just some more feedback of, that basically helped me. But I met a quite bit of people that knew Brandon, and that was such a pleasure getting to meet them, those fine people, and them telling their stories.
We're visiting with Chris Severio, who is the star in the movie Greater, playing Brandon Burlsworth. There's a line, Chris, where Brandon, you look up in the stands or look at the players, you go, "How bad do you want it?" I think that's the line. Was that actually a line that they said Brandon would say, or is that something that Brian created to just add some sizzle to the movie?
I believe it was just something they added to the movie, but that's actually been a very favorite line for everybody who's seen the film. People actually love that line, and that is probably one of my favorite lines. We were filming, I remember filming that day, and when we were working on it, and they were telling this is what we're going to be doing next, and I'm looking at the lines of what we're going to be doing, and I saw that, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to just yell at people.
Can you do it? Yeah,
let me hear you do it.
Let's hear the line. Do it like you do it in the movie. Do it for us.
How bad do you want it? How bad?
All right, very nice, very nice. Yeah, was there any part of that movie that was the most challenging that you look back and, from delivering your lines or a part of the movie that was the most challenging for you?
The most challenging part for me was the scene near the end of the film where Arkansas had just lost to Tennessee, and it was because it was Brandon's fault. He had tripped Clint, and he had, it felt like it was all his fault, and he was trying to apologize to him. And that scene was challenging for me because it was just physically demanding for that night, because we had filmed probably 13 hours straight.
Wow.
And we were doing that scene. We did that scene for probably 45 minutes straight, doing this over and over, just because, the director felt like he was just getting really good content of what we were doing in that scene. And so they kept it going. And it was demanding for me because it took a toll on me emotionally.
Right.
So that was my toughest, thing to get through, through the whole shoot. But I was, one of the things I was most proud of.
You didn't play football. Did you play sports of any kind? And whether yes or no, a second part of that is, are you an Arkansas Razorback fan now?
I'm absolutely a Razorback fan.
I'm sorry.
Who's an LSU fan, and so we kind of have a feud already now that I'm an Arkansas fan. My family's against me, but it's always good fun.
Oh, good.
I played soccer when I was a kid growing up. That was the only sport that I participated in, and then as I grew up, I participated in martial arts because of my father. He was a Jeet Kune Do instructor, so I always wanted to follow in his footsteps doing martial arts. So I've done that as I've gotten older as well.
Just think about this, guys. So you are always going to be, for people who've seen this movie, synonymous with Brandon Burlsworth because you play the role. So people in Arkansas, I don't know if you'll ever have a role similar to this of significance. No. I don't know, Chris, but here in Arkansas, you'll always be the Brandon Burlsworth actor, which is a big deal.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told that quite a bit, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Associated with his name. I mean, he's an amazing icon for Arkansas, and I'm just happy that I was able to portray, him and bring his life story, to the big picture and let everybody see who he was and, what he believed in, and maybe open some people's eyes to, what they can have in their life.
Much like Brandon's story, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, when Brian Rindle decided that you were going to be the guy, you had never had a feature role like this that was a 7-figure budget. So they sort of took a chance on you, just like Arkansas taking a chance on Brandon, and that had to be a big deal for you. And I know it was a big risk for Brian, and obviously this movie means a lot to the Burlsworth family. So there was some pressure, but you were sort of like Brandon. You got your shot and you delivered.
Yes, sir. That was it was at first when I first auditioned for the film. I originally wasn't picked, and it's a great story behind this. I had done probably close to 100 auditions before I landed the role of Brandon, and I originally didn't pick for it. I was picked for another one, and they came back and said, hey, would you still be interested in playing Brandon? And I said, absolutely. And it was a dream come true, being able to do it. But I was, to be honest with you, I was really overwhelmed at first, when we started filming, and I just, getting to meet the family, of Brandon, was able to keep me grounded and, kept my head level. And they welcomed me with open arms as a friend and family member while we were filming. And I kept a relationship with them after filming. So that was something special that I never even thought would come of it. So when we were filming, it was no longer a sense of, hey, this is your shot, do what you need to do. It was also, hey, you need to do this for Brandon's family, make them proud. And that was something I wanted to make sure that while we were filming and, everything that I was doing, that at the end of it, it would make them proud.
Yeah, you know what? And thinking of that, would you also keep that in mind when the camera stopped rolling, if mama or brother were around you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of fun when we were filming, and every time we, Miss Barbara would be there on set. Some days we'd be there and we'd be, filming, and I'd get done with a scene and I'd see her over to the side, and I'd go to her and hug her, and sometimes it would be a little tough for her to watch because it was something that I was doing that was just like Brandon.
Absolutely.
It was good to connect with her, on that level, and really just feel like, because I have a really close relationship with my mom.
Sure.
And so did Brandon.
Yep.
Brandon's
Yep.
best friend was his mom.
Yep.
And that's the same for me. And so I was able to be, just to talk to her just like I could talk to my own mother, and that was really nice.
Hey, let's. I think we got to call Tommy from L.A. Chris, your actor mate,
your movie brother.
Yeah, your movie brother, Neal McDonough, joins us on the Hodges Glass Little Rock Glass Hotline from L.A. Good morning,
How
Neal.
about that?
Good morning, Cheesecake.
What'd you call him?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
What's up, pal? How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing? It's been a good while.
I'm doing very, very well. Very, very well. It's, it's nice. Sitting there watching movies last night with the kids, and there's your big mug right there on Netflix now, and I just love seeing it. I heard it was on Netflix now, and I just thought it was fantastic. And, I've spoken to so many people lately about the movie and about other stuff, and I keep going back to, they always say, what's your favorite movie? And, my favorite movie of all project I've ever been part of is Band of Brothers. I've always said my whole life. But, coming in a very, very, very close second was our movie Greater, because you were phenomenal. What everyone did, what Brian did producing it, with, the whole team and David and everyone else, put their heart and soul and every ounce of passion they had into our movie. And look what happened. It came out great, and to see their family so proud of the film, and it was one of the highlights of my life, that's for certain.
Wow.
And you were just incredible, pal.
Well, that's Neal. I was going to say that you know how important it was to the family, this movie, and you have played a lot of roles. And I also know, guys, if I'm not mistaken, Neal, you were a baseball athlete and chose, instead of pursuing collegiate baseball, you decided to go into acting at Syracuse. Is that right? So you've got a sports background, correct?
Yeah, well, I still played ball at Syracuse and thereafter.
Okay.
I loved, baseball was everything to me. Baseball and theater, those were like my two big passions in life.
Huh.
And, finally, when I was in Syracuse, I had to kind of have to make a decision which path I was going to go towards. And, I'm fairly certain I made the right path. But when I got to Hollywood, all my first movies were baseball movies, playing Lee Garrigan, the Babe Ruth Story, or Angels in the Outfield, or, all these other baseball or sports types of things. And it took a while to get back in sports team film. It wasn't really till Greater before, Forever Strong was one, but Greater was really, when you look at really fantastic sports films, Greater's right at top because it also has the beautiful thing of being faith-based. It's all, true life stuff. And it was, for me, such an honor to, being the devout Catholic that I am, to be part of something where we could praise God in the material that we're using. And what a highlight of my life, not just my career, but my life, to be part of something that would give honor to Him while we were down here doing our job and working our tails off to be the very, very best to tell the truth of such an incredible, impactful story.
It's had a great impact on Arkansas.
Yeah, the reviews now, as Chris has said earlier, Neal, the being on Netflix just raises the bar for the movie. And the responses from people who have not seen it has been, of course, a lot of these are Arkansans, but the responses have been overwhelming. What a moving movie it is, and then the award itself, the Burlsworth Trophy. You got kids in high school that are being recognized for this, and so it just ties everything in perfectly. The whole story of Brandon.
It's been, and for Marty, what a presence he was to have on the set, and he was just like a big brother. He would just sit back and watch and smile and be there for us, and what he does with the award, but keeping Brandon's name going all these years. It's my hat is up to Marty. He's an incredible human being. And when I talk about Marty for too long, I get choked up because to be able to jump into his boots and try to be what he was. I mean, what an incredible man he is. He's just he's heroic, and I just love that I had the opportunity to play him on screen.
Neal, knowing what, asking Chris about it as well, and how much playing the part of someone who actually lived, playing in a true story like that, were you cognizant of the fact that Brandon that Marty and the mother were there on the set, so off camera, or when the camera stopped rolling, were you aware of that and tried to be as a little bit more subdued or kind or whatever, because you were actually playing a member of her family?
Well, the hard thing is Marty's so darn good looking, and he reminded me that every day on the set. Better looking than me, taller than me, better looking than me, more fit than I am. All these things. It's intimidating at times. No, Marty was. He made it seamless. He was like, you go nail it, you go knock it out of the ball yard, you go do it, and there wasn't much conversation about anything more than life and God and family and what all that means in life, and the importance of that. And, a movie's a movie, and that's fantastic, but true life family is everything. And in my family, it's the way we run our family, it's family first, me second, God first, me second, and those are the things that Marty rolls the same way, and I just love that. And he was there to catch me if I needed something, and he was always there. And again, it was such an honor to play him, and what a treat it was for me to be opposite this young kid who had a shot at the title to play Brandon, and he comes out of the gate swinging, going for the. I mean, I'm telling you, the job that Chris did, I can't imagine another human being on this planet playing Brandon Burlsworth other than Chris. And we all know it. You know it. Chris knows it. The whole world knows it. He was unbelievable, and it was such a blessing to watch him really just work it. And he was amazing.
Yeah, as Hog fans and as Burlsworth fans,
no, I never
appreciate
get
it all.
Compliments in front of him because as his older brother, I can't give him compliments in front of him. I just did, so it's a little uncomfortable for me.
That's good. Well, listen, one of you played a good guy. We know about what you do in movies, Neal, by way of not any love scenes or any of that sort of thing. But what you don't do in that regard, you make up for in being one of the best cussing bad guys of anybody around. And I'm not even talking about Walking Tall and what happened to him. I'm talking about on Yellowstone right now. Dude, that's an awesome deal. Yeah.
They just let Taylor Sheridan is like, I want you to go. I'm gonna let you loose. Go for it. And he's not really gonna go for it. I'm going for it, and I did, and to be with Kevin Costner and everyone else, and it was such a joy. It was so much fun to be part of a television series like that. It was
Well, maybe you can get Chris to come in as a cowpoke one day on one of those scenes. Help him out there.
Oh, Chris knows we're not finished yet.
Good.
That's awesome.
Well, there's no way.
We want to tell you both, great job. The people of Arkansas are very appreciative for putting out a great movie about an icon here in this state and an example that can go on for decades and decades. So well done, and congratulations on being on Netflix. It's going to really help the movie go even higher.
Thanks, boys. Hey, go Razorback.
Thank you.
I'm a full-fledged Razorback fan.
Have a good, safe, happy Easter.
Yeah.
Happy Easter weekend, everybody. God bless you all.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, there you go. Now, McDonough and Chris Severio, right? Neal finally got on. Well, what a compliment for Neal to give to Chris. Wow.
He seems like a good guy.
Did you hear him say his number?